we are given this equation and our objective is to solve for z. Let's do a little bit of manipulation to this equation first. For example, I can multiply this across to the other side, giving me a 4 modulus of z is equal to 5i multiplied by 15 minus z conjugate. So it is going to be this is equal to this times this 75i, this times this minus 5i z conjugate. This is an equation, but we actually have two unknowns. The first unknown is going to be modulus of z. The other one is going to be z conjugate. They're definitely related. They're both related to z. But modulus of z and z conjugate, they are not the same. But we have only one equation. So we are not going to continue to proceed by making use of the same process as how we are dealing with real numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to break up z into its component, the real and the imaginary part, by letting z be equal to x plus iy. So it is going to be 4 modulus of x plus iy is equal to 75i minus 5i of z conjugate, which is going to be x plus iy conjugate. So here will be 4 modulus of x plus iy is going to be square root of x squared plus y squared. This is 75i minus x plus iy. This is going to be conjugate of this x minus iy. So we are going to rearrange both the left and right hand side, regrouping them such that the real parts are together and the imaginary parts are also together. On the left hand side, the real part is basically just this, what that is already. On the left hand side, the imaginary part, there's no, so it is actually 0i on the left hand side for the imaginary part. For the right hand side, the real portion will be this multiplied by this. This multiplied by this gives me a 5i squared y, and I squared is minus 1, so minus 5y. As for the imaginary portion, it is going to be 75, then minus 5x. This is the imaginary portion, so I'll multiply by I to it. And if I were to match the real parts to the real parts and the imaginary parts to the imaginary part, I guess this is probably the one that I want to go for first, because there's only x if I were to match this to this. So I can solve for x. So by matching this to this, we know that 75 minus 5x is equal to 0. We will be able to solve for x, and x is going to be equal to 15. And we're going to match this to negative 5y. So it is going to be 4 square root of x squared plus y squared. We're going to be matching this to minus 5y. So it's going to be 4 square root of x squared. It is going to be 15 squared plus y squared is equal to minus 5y. If I were to square both sides, then we will have a 16. Then this is going to be 15 squared plus y squared is equal to 25 y squared. Simplifying this, let me continue here. We are going to get y squared to be equal to, y squared here will be equal to 400, which means that y is equal to plus or minus 20. But there's a small little trick that we need to continue with here, which is we actually need to reject one of them. Are you able to tell? Plus, minus 20, which one are we going to be rejecting? The clue lies in fact, here. Because if you were to look at this, this is a positive number. And this is minus 5y, which means that y must be negative number in order for it, when it's multiplied to negative 5, to get a positive number. So we need y to be negative, which means that from here, we are going to go for minus 20 because y needs to be less than 0. So with x is equal to 15, y is equal to minus 20, and x is of the form x plus iy. Therefore, for the final answer, z is going to be equal to x, which is going to be 15, y, which is minus 20, so minus 20i. This is for part A of the question. Let's continue. Let's take a look at part B of the question. For part B of this question, we are given an equation. This equation is w minus I to the power of 3. This is equal to minus I. And the question says that for this particular equation, one of the possible value of w is 2i. So that is going to be actually forming for us the root of this equation. We are supposed to find the other two possible values of w. So we are going to be finding the other two roots of this equation. This is actually a polynomial, a cubic polynomial. Let's make this into a polynomial format that we are more familiar with. So let me first expand the left-hand side using binomial expansion. So it will be w to the power of 3 plus 3 times of w squared multiplied by minus I plus 3w minus I squared, then minus I to the power of 3. This minus I, let me bring it over to the left-hand side. So plus I. This is equal to 0. If I were to simplify this, we are going to be getting this as w to the power of 3. This is minus 3i w squared. This will be minus 3w. This will be I plus I, it will be plus 2i. This is equal to 0. So the question says, 2i is one of the roots to this cubic polynomial. So if I were to be making use of factor theorem, that means w minus 2i is a factor. In order for me to get the other factor, we are going to do a bit of coefficient comparison by letting this, which is w to the power 3 minus 3i w squared minus 3w plus 2i. We are going to be letting this to be its factorized form. One of the factors is w minus 2i, since 2i is a root to this equation. Then the other factor, this is a linear factor, this is w to the power 3. So here we are going to be expecting a quadratic factor. So that will be aw squared plus bw plus c. And just from simple observation, we can tell. Because this is w to the power 3, so w must be multiplied to 1w squared in order for me to be getting w to the power 3. So a is basically just 1. And as for here, the term that is independent of w is 2i. So minus 2i must multiply by minus 1 in order for me to get a 2i. So here c is going to be equal to minus 1. So we just are required to be finding b. So to find b, let's make use of either the coefficient of w squared or coefficient of w. Let's just make use of the coefficient of w. So if I were to compare coefficient of w on both the left and the right hand side, on the left hand side is minus 3. On the right hand side, coefficient of w will be this, multiplied by this, it will give me a w, so minus 1. Then this will give me a w, so minus 2ib. So this will give me b to be equal to negative 3 plus 1 divided by minus 2i. If I were to compute this, b is going to be equal to minus I. So the other two roots will be obtained by letting this be equal to 0, because the first root, which was already given to us by the question, is already 2i. So for the other two roots, let's make this to be 0. So it will be w squared, b is minus I, so minus iw minus 1, this is equal to 0. And in order for me to solve for this, we are going to make use of, let's say, the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula will be minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a is 1, c is minus 1. So this divided by 2a. So working this out, we are going to be getting the other two roots of the other two possible values of w for this particular equation. And they are going to be negative square root of 3 over 2 plus half I, or the other one is going to be square root of 3 over 2 plus half I. This is for part 1 of the question. And for part 2, okay, part 2 is going to be a little bit tricky. We do need a bit of visualization here. For part 2, we are given that w1 is a point that represents one of the three roots, w2, w3 also. So we have three roots. Maybe I'll let w1 be equal to, be representing 2i. Then w2, I'll let it represent, let's say this. So minus square root of 3 over 2 plus half I. And point w3, I'll let it represent the last root, which is going to be square root of 3 over 2 plus half I. So according to what the question says, these 3 points are potentially going to be lying on a circle with the center at A. And according to what the question tells us, A is going to be representing a complex number ki. So if I were to try to visualize all this on an Argand diagram, that means W1 will have a coordinate point of 0, 2. And W2, the coordinates will be negative square root of 3 over 2 and half, and W3, square root of 3 over 2 and half. As for A, it is going to be 0k. So if I were to think about all this lying on a circle, I will be able to visualize a scenario that is like this. Okay, let's say this is the imaginary axis. Let's say here we have a real axis. So W1 is going to be, let's say here, W1 with a coordinate of 0, 2. W2, let's say it is somewhere here. W2 we have a coordinates of negative square root of 3 over 2 and half. Okay, I'm running out of space, but let's say W2 is here. As for W3, it is actually mirror image of W2 about the vertical axis because they share the same y coordinate, which is half. Okay, and the x coordinates are just negative of each other. So directly at the other side, maybe here is where we are going to be finding W3, and this will be square root of 3 over 2 and half. So we are hypothesizing that these 3 points are going to be lying on a circle. And if you think about it, yeah, it is actually pretty reasonable for us to be assuming that the center of the circle lie on the vertical axis, because these 2 points, they are reflection about the vertical axis. And this point is going to be A, and A will have a coordinates of 0k. So we want to verify whether we will be able to find a value for k such that this scenario is going to happen, that the 3 points are going to be lying on a circle. And what we can very easily do to verify this is we are going to just assume that the 3 points lies on a circle, and we are going to find and let this distance be equal to this distance to be equal to this distance. Because if they were to be lying on a circle, then these 2 distances, they must be the same. They are the radius of the circle. So let's try by verifying, or let's try by first letting A W1 be equal to A W2 to solve for a possible value of k. So this will be, this distance is just going to be 2 minus k. As for this, we are going to make use of the distance between 2 coordinates points. So it's going to be, according to secondary school's coordinates geometry, it is going to be x1 minus y1 square, which is going to be minus square root of 3 over 2 minus 0 square, plus y1 minus y2 square. So it's going to be half minus k square. So we will have a 2 minus k square is equal to, if I were to square both sides, this is going to be, this is just 0, so it will be negative square root of 3 over 2 square, which is going to be 3 over 4, plus this is going to be half minus k, the whole thing square. So we have a 4 minus 4k plus k square is equal to 3 over 4 plus, expanding this, we have a 1/4 minus k plus k square. K square can be cancelled. If you were to solve for k, k is going to be equal to 1. So if k is equal to 1, that means the radius is going to be 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1. So we are expecting the radius to be 1. We just need to do one more verification, then we will be able to verify whether it is really possible that all these 3 points lie on a circle with potentially the format of the center to look like this, 0k. So now we are already suspecting that the center is at, let me write it down. We are suspecting that the center is at the point 0, 1, since k is equal to 1. So let's now making use of this, and let's try to find AW3. Let's try to find this distance, assuming that k is equal to 1. So for k to be equal to 1, let's see what is this. Okay, so this is going to be the distance between 2 points. Is going to be square root of x1 minus x2 square, 0 minus square root of 3 over 2 square, plus k is 1. So plus 1 minus half square. And if you were to evaluate this, this is going to be also 1, which means that A1 W3 is going to be equal to A1 W1 is going to be equal to, so it's going to be AW1 is going to be equal to AW2. So these three distances, if k is equal to 1, they are exactly the same. Therefore, we have proven what the question requires us to prove, that it is possible that W1, W2, W3 lies on a circle with the center at 0k, where k is equal to 1.